Okay, so with Joe Biden pulling out of Afghanistan, corporate media have come out in full force with everything that they have to push endless propaganda about why we should stay in. Take a look at this video from Case Study QB. It's Joe Scarborough on his show, Morning Joe, doing just that.
Now, the American people, Admiral, support this move, and yet I'm still surprised at our rapid removal. Ned Price at the State Department said this wasn't abandonment, this wasn't evacuation. It's exactly what it is, and I just wonder, Admiral, how the United States of America maintains security, not just for everybody else's interest, but for our own selfish self-interest. If we can't even keep 2,500, 3,000, 4,000 troops in a country like Afghanistan, in a country like Syria, now figured out over 20 years, and everybody's going to be talking about what have we learned over the past 20 years. Well, we figured out how to have a really small footprint in places like Syria and Afghanistan, and at the same time, stop the Russians, stop the Syrians, stop the Iranians, stop ISIS, stop the Turks, stop everybody from advancing. What do you think about a country, what do you think about politicians that aren't willing to actually put 3,000, 3,500, 4,000 troops in hotspots when most of those troops want to be there and are upset when they're withdrawn?
The way to think about this, Joe, is leverage. In other words, what can you gain with relatively small footprint, relatively low cost in a very strategic place? I mean, look at a map. Afghanistan is parked in the middle of Russia, China, Pakistan, India. It's sitting on top of $1 trillion in rare earths and lithium, which goes in every car battery ever made. There's a lot of reason to want to keep stability in Afghanistan. By the way, starting with the fact that when it's ungoverned, it becomes a launch pad for things like 9/11. Doing it with 150,000 troops, when I commanded that mission, it had 150,000 troops. That's not cost effective. But doing it with 3,500 to 5,000 troops makes a lot of sense to me. So I agree with your premise. We are failing in keeping the leverage here. At this point, there's really no way back that I can see for the administration.
Wow. I mean, at this point, they don't even care anymore. They're just blatantly obvious. They're not even trying to hide the fact that they're pro-war or for this particular war. And they're for every war, really. But let's get into this. So this can be solved by, in my opinion, the first thing that he said in that clip that you just watched. He says, and I quote, "You know, the American people support this." Okay, let's just stop right there. Let's just stop right there. This is supposed to be a representative democracy. What the American people support, the majority of them, that is what we should receive as a country, correct? That's what I believe, right? So why doesn't the argument stop there? He said that the American people support this. Okay, yeah, all right, well then let's pull out. End of conversation. End of conversation. I'm very confused, but no, he continues on as if that doesn't matter. No. We don't care what the American people want. Why do we care about them? The American people overwhelmingly support universal health care. We don't have that. The American people, the majority of them support universal college. We don't have that. So, I mean, in a sense, he's correct. The powerful, the people that make the decisions, don't care about what the American people want. This isn't a representative democracy, even if it's supposed to be. He goes on. How do we maintain security, he says. As if we pull out of Afghanistan, San Francisco is going to get bombed, or Michigan is going to get hit with an air raid from the Taliban. You see, the Taliban, they are a guerrilla army in their own respective territory. Their goal isn't world domination. No, that would be the Sunni fundamentalists, the Salafis, okay? That's not what they are. They are a guerrilla army taking over their own territory. Now, look, the people they aren't good people, all right? They aren't. But is it our problem to solve what happens in these other areas? I mean, Flint, Michigan doesn't even have clean water. Half of workers in this country make $30,000 or less. People are getting hosed everywhere across our own country, but we're thinking about trying to improve life for people in other areas. And these are the same people that'll tell you America first. They'll tell you that, and then they'll turn around and push this type of nonsense. He also goes on, and I don't know where he got this from. If anybody knows, fact check me. But he says that the troops want to be there and that they're upset to leave. I haven't read a single article. I haven't seen a single report. I haven't seen any word from anybody credible that has supported what he just said there, that the troops want to be there. What troop in their right mind would want to be in an area where they could possibly die? I'm very confused on that statement. If anybody knows what he meant by that, or if he meant exactly what he said, let me know, because I really want to find out and get to the bottom of it. The troops want to be there and they're upset to leave. And then he asks his co-host there, what does he think about it? And this guy says something that really stuck with me. He says that in ungoverned territory, such as Afghanistan, it becomes, when we, as in America, leave, it becomes a launch pad for 9/11. So 15 of the 19 attackers on 9/11 were citizens of Saudi Arabia. Have we forgotten that? So if that's the case, do we attack Saudi Arabia? But Saudi Arabia is one of our top allies. In fact, we're currently, and have been for quite a while now, aiding them while they commit a genocide in Yemen. We gave them a multi-billion-dollar weapons deal while they kill innocent civilians, women, and children in Yemen. I mean, why don't somebody should ask Joe Scarborough what is victory to him? And I'm sure he can't define what that is. I mean, we've been there for 20 years, and as soon as we leave, this happens. As soon as we would have left at any point, this would have happened. But I guess his solution to that would be, just stay there forever. I mean, they don't have a motive. They don't have goals. They don't have any sense of what victory, quote unquote, victory would look like. It's just stay there, fuel the war machine, keep funneling money to the military industrial complex, and that's pretty much it. The geopolitical gain on China, Russia, and whatever, those are all the reasons that they need to be there. But as he outlined in the beginning of that, the American people support this move, and they do, even with the relentless propaganda that they're getting from piece of shit media pundits like Joe Scarborough. The majority of the American people do support Joe Biden's move of getting out of Afghanistan. And it's worth to be noted, and I'll try to link the article down below in the description, but early on in the war, the Taliban actually tried to surrender to the United States, but the United States rejected. And if you watch Noam Chomsky, he talks about this very eloquently and very accurately about how terrorism is created. And the United States of America, the world's leading terrorist, only aids in creating more terrorism, right? So the entire war on terror is, it's false. It's false because we're helping to create the terror. And Noam Chomsky talks about this so amazingly, and he outlines that when you use a sledgehammer to try to defeat terrorists, you only create more terror. You're not looking for the roots of the problems. You're not looking at the cause of what's happening. No, you're just, with pure might, you're trying to crush something that can't be destroyed with might alone. And that's what we've been doing for such a very long time. And when they tried to surrender, we kept attacking and kept attacking and kept attacking. And at one point, you can read about this. We would ask for the people that, we would ask for terrorists, and these Afghan warlords would just hand over their enemies, and we'd send them to, Abu Ghraib or Guantanamo Bay and torture them, and that would create even more terrorists. It's this never-ending cycle of hate, of hatred, and that's what we're currently seeing. But in terms of corporate media and what the obvious horrendous agenda that they're pushing, we're going to keep seeing it, and we're going to keep seeing more of it. But the opinions of the American people aren't going to change, even with this relentless propaganda, and it is indeed relentless. But anyway, this is Joe Scarborough. giving his reasons as to why we should be fighting in a war until the end of time.